When you look at our numbers, when you look at our economy, when you look at our job numbers, every single chart that you put up, we beat them by numbers that nobody's ever seen. We had the best economy in history. We had the best job numbers in history, and we had the best border in history. We rebuilt the military, and then he gave away a lot of it to the Afghans. If he gave it to, the Taliban, I think in the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And then when you think about it, I think Putin really just said, hey, this is a good time because these people are incompetent. Putin would never have gone into Ukraine. October 7th would have never happened. And you know what else? Inflation wouldn't have happened.
Do you believe that they...
Why is American fascism so whimsical? I actually blame our history classes for this. But if you're asking, like, why is it so stupid? So was Hitler's. So was Mussolini's. You can watch translated versions of their speech or like subtitled or whatever. The most people only ever see one Hitler speech. There's one Hitler speech they made the big damn movie out of. The one where you see him and he's doing all the gay little hand gestures. That one. But like he made a million speeches. You take a look at the language in them. It's the same shit. It's literally like almost point for point. They're taking our jobs, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the... I mean, it's essentially the same thing. Fascism has never been cool and steely and cold and calculated. It's always been fucking idiotic. It's always been like this. There's never been... Like, Mussolini was a clown, man. Hitler was too. Mussolini more so, I think, in, like, mannerism and delivery. But, incoherent rambling about how the country has fallen infinite... It's like... worse than it's ever been, but he'll make it bigly once more. It's crazy.
Used money from FEMA and
it's
gave
always
it to
been soy.
Illegal immigrants, because the White House is saying that was misinformation as well.
No, it came out from there, and everybody knew it, and it was released from them. Then all of a sudden, a week later, they come out with a different scenario, and they have so many different pots of money. They just, it just melds. Nobody knows it. Nobody has any idea. That group has no idea what's happening. Look. It's the worst president and the worst vice president in the history of our country. They're horrible. And he can't stand her.
Also, I know I say this a lot, but both of these people should be arrested. This is an interview with a presidential candidate where the so-called journalist is like, hey, you were fact-checked, but their fact-check was wrong, right? You're always right, right? Sorry, right to jail.
One simple reason, she overthrew him. But she didn't do it. The party did. Call it the deep state, whatever it is, but the party did it. Look, he got 14. I'm not a fan, but he got 14 million votes. She got no votes. She never made it to Iowa. She was the first.
This specific Fox anchor was cited as the first source of defamation by the Dominion lawsuit. It's just crazy what you can get away with, man.
We have the endorsement of Elon, as you know, Elon Musk, who's great. He's a great guy. He had such a good time. He put the black hat on. I didn't even...
Dark
Why are they using this picture, man?
How cool is that, right? He calls it dark. He's a great guy. And I said, they want open borders. They want open borders. And they're always going to want... And she's always going to want open borders. That's the $64,000 question. Why? I have no idea. Maybe they...
I don't even know what this is referring... I don't know. I don't know what this is referring to. I don't even know. I don't know why $64,000 question.
One of the elements of the border has brought in Tren de Aragua, this Venezuelan gang, quite dangerous. You told us about this.
Not quite. You could take the word. It's just
billions
dangerous. Evil.
Billions
and you told us this back in 2015 and 2016, that Venezuela was emptying their prisons and they were coming here, and you were mocked for it. How did you know back then that these Venezuelan gangs were coming to America?
It's again like a shameless propaganda mill. There is no comparison to Fox News. Like, there is nothing. I mean, you have like people who try to awkwardly imitate their flow, like OAN or Newsmax or whatever, but like there is nothing comparable to them on the left, not even remotely.
But I'm just wondering if these outside agitators will start up on election day. Let's say you win. I mean, let's remember, you've got 50,000 Chinese nationals in this country in the last couple of years. Yeah. You have people on the terrorist watch list, 350 in the last couple of years. You've got, like you said, 13,000 murderers and 15,000.
But a significant number of people in the terrorist watch list are Trump supporters, I imagine, like Jan 6 adjacent people. I like the Chinese nationals thing too, because we're not like pretending about not sounding racist anymore. So she's fully just doing the Japanese internment camp thing, and she's saying, oh, that country that we're not at war with, that we trade with extensively, well, there are Chinese nationals here. Okay. Doing what? Like improving the culinary landscape of the cities they settle in?
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. But I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Which, you know, again, we covered this, but like they want you dead. So, you know, just verbatim, like first they came for the communists and the trade unionists kind of deal.
Why did you have to go back to Butler? I like the way you started, as I was saying.
As I was saying,
cutting it in, like we're watching a movie.
Business, I think. Then we had a moment of silence.
The glazing is insane. If he wins again, this is the only kind of media coverage that it will be legal to do of him. That's not even a joke. I mean, he literally said that he wants to, what was it? He wants to revoke the press pass of which media of ABC after the debate with Kamala Harris that he lost and then refused to do another debate. He said he wanted to revoke their licensing as a news organization after that.
The Committee for a Responsible Budget says your plans will increase the debt by $7.5 trillion.
But they don't know.
The Wall Street Journal said that your plans will increase the debt and deficits more than Kamala Harris's.
If I do this, you're going to have car companies coming back to the country because of the taxes and the tariffs. The tariffs will protect them when they come in, so they will protect from other companies coming in, because if the other companies don't come in, they're going to have to pay massive tariffs.
And again, it's like, it really, like, I don't know, it really lays bare. You know how you can't have a free market economy unless you have perfect information, because unless you're aware of the options available to you in the market, you can't be reasonably expected to choose the best of them and therefore like give your money to the company that's providing you the best product. And there's no such thing as perfect information, but the more information you have about the products available, the closer you are to like simulating the perfect free market environment for that product. It's kind of like that, but for democracy. Like, you can't really have a functioning democracy if the information out there is so bad that nobody's making an informed vote. When you're in an environment where an entire political party is just straight up lying about, it's even worse than the trickle-down economics lie from the Reagan administration, because they were lying about what it would do, but they were clear on what the tax cuts were. I don't think the average American knows what tariffs are.
All I'm doing is saying, I'll put 200 or 500, I don't care. I'll put a number where they can't sell one car into the United. I don't want them to sell their car because I don't want them hurting our car companies.
Dog, our economy is like done. It's like fucking over, dude. A flat 20% tariff would be bad enough. You start implementing selective multi-100% tariffs on Chinese, various industries just to protect like local companies. Welcome to North Argentina. We're doing American Peronism. It's like regular Peronism, but with more cowboy hats. Hold on. I'm ready.
And I'll tell you what, they're going to come back in spades, and they're going to come back fast. And they'll go to Michigan, and they'll go to South Carolina. They'll go all over. They'll go to different places. Tennessee is very big.
You ready for like a 200% tariff on foreign steel? And all the steel is going to come from the United States, and every consumer product is going to skyrocket in price, and we're going to hit like the Great Depression in no time. I'm ready. Who knows, man? Who gives a shit? Anything could happen. Who cares? Cute hat. Okay, I'll commit to the bit if we're doing it. 1 second. I've got a canvas jack. There we go.
But you've also said that there's a lot of fat in government that you would want to slim down.
Fat.
So what agencies would you want to shut down?
Well, let me have you ask another person that, because I'm going to have Elon Musk. He is dying to do this. You know, he's a great business guy, actually.
I think this is genuinely one of the cleanest examples that we have of Trump being used as a vessel for other powers. Remember, Trump didn't like Elon. He hated Elon, and Trump holds grudges. Elon literally soft-launched Ron DeSantis's presidential campaign and then endorsed Vivek the day before he dropped out. This is the only time that I can think of that Donald Trump has ever given accolades to somebody who he previously hated. And the reason for that is because he needs Elon. And I think that what he's getting you know, in exchange for that, Elon, I mean, is like, this is essentially going to be a shadow government. There are a number of powers that are fighting for control over the government. We are seeing essentially the business plot 2.0, and Donald Trump is like the charismatic snake oil salesman that they're using to front this, you know? It is a coalition of business interests, the loudest of which, the stupidest of which, in all likelihood, being Elon Musk, who are looking to essentially seize control of the government. Like, Trump himself will not have much power once he takes over. He won't need to. The moment Trump takes charge, an expert team of political and legal consultants working on behalf of the shadow government, and I'm not saying this conspiratorially or anything. When I say the shadow government, I mean the capital class, those interested enough that they have invested in and worked with the Trump campaign. It's not a secret that they exist. The Heritage Foundation is just like a core example of this. You have political consultancy groups that work directly in line with corporate investors. This isn't a secret. It's literally how the job goes. It's just, I think this is an example where all of the weight is coming from them. They will expertly dismantle our democracy, and I think that it is very unlikely the Democrats will be able to do anything about it.
So what about USMCA? What do you want to renegotiate?
There are always things that you can do better. I got a clause that gives me the right to renegotiate it. Who else would think of that except a business person?
Who would ever consider to sign a contract that allows for future alteration of the contract? It's true. You must have invented that concept, man.
I want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. That's going to be stepped up. You know, we need more people, especially when these companies are coming in. We're going to have companies, but they have to come in with love for the country.
Do you still think Trump isn't an ideological fascist? Yes. I do think he arrives at all of this just like inertially through what gets him attention and what he's told to say. I don't think ideologically he adheres to like the ideology of fascism. Now, in practice, that doesn't matter very much, right? Like, you know, you can program a machine to say fascist things but never believe fascist things, and functionally you've got like a fascist machine. I just think the distinction there is like kind of I don't know, an interesting. I don't think he really believes in anything, to be honest.
But we are a nation in great decline. We've been led by a man who's in great decline, and now we have a woman who's worse than he is. And we have to win the election. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country.
Okay, this is a very odd video that I got this interview from. Man, the rest of the video is knitting or crocheting or whatever. Okay, well, I guess we got the critical on that. So I guess the moral of this story is that we're all going to die, and it will be the Democrats' fault for allowing it to happen. Does that sound right?